Okay.
Okay, so my center that I did is for third graders, and it's multiplication. The California math standards is pretty much all of these meet the same requirements. So 2.0 students calculate and solve problems involving addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. 2.2 memorize multiplication table from numbers between 1 to 10. 2.4 solve simple problems involving multiplication and multi-digit numbers by one digit. And 2.6 understand the special properties of 0 and 1 in multiplication and division. So all of these, in some degree, they meet the same kind of requirements. So for my first activity I had, they're going to use these manipulatives, and depending on what times table the teacher gave them, because most of the kids get assessed before they enter a classroom, so we kind of get an idea if they've done multiplication or not. So, and let's say in case a kid's never done multiplication before, we'll start off with zeros, ones, twos, which are typically really easy. So probably let's say like times table is 3. So we would tell the kids, we'll give them a chart of the times table is 3, and then we'll tell them, show us how does that look like. So then they would do 3 groups of 3. And then just fill in the rest. So they can visually see what that looks like, and then they can add them up and see that it would equal up to a sum. So for my second activity that I have is a game with dice. And I would use different dice. I just use my manipulative kit. So they would just play like a little game, and they would do, kind of shake them up and then throw them on the table. And then whatever number they draw, they would multiply those numbers by. So in this case, it would be 4 times 5. So 4 times 5 is 20. And they would continue to do that, just playing along for like a good 10 minutes. So that's just to kind of get comfortable with multiplication in general. And then for my third activity that I have is students will actually get to just practice with the times table chart. So we have this in our classroom, and our kids always love it. And just, if we tell them, okay, practice your 3 times tables, so they exclusively would just practice this row. Just drill for a couple of minutes, just practice your timetables. And of course, we would time them, at the center for no more than 10 minutes. We would use the little timer and say, okay, your time's up. Now you can go back to the classroom. So it's just something that they would do for a little bit. Then for my fourth activity, the kid will create an actual multiplication card. So if they're practicing their 3 times tables, they would, make the 3 times table multiplication card. So 3 times 1, and then in the back they would put their answer, which would be 3. And they would do that for the whole chart. And then this is something they could actually keep. So they can go and continue to practice. And then once the teacher feels that he or she is ready, then they would get assessed by doing the little 1 minute, we call it the 1 minute multiplication thing. So they have 1 minute, and it's already set to 1 minute, so then they would just have to press start. And each of my activities, the instructions are very step by step by step by step. So it doesn't lack any interpretation, it's just really easy to follow through. And they can also pull out here where it says the instructions. The way that the teacher would check in and see if the students which students have been doing the center, I put a little binder where they can log in. So my first one is like the actual login chart where you would put what students did the activity, and then what date and which activity they did. So if it was activity 1, it would be activity 1, and then the date, and then the student. So it would go on and on and on and on. And of course, if the teacher wanted to, she could actually add more activities to this. She could add more multiplication sheets to it if she wanted to. The second one I did is an actual answer sheet to the 1 minute. So the student can actually also check in their own answers. So it's here. It's divided, there's 2 different sets for each times table chart. So that's another thing that a teacher could do, say, okay, well, check your 1 minute and see how many you got wrong. And I added multiplication chart just in case if the student needed something to follow when they did their multiplication cards. I think that's it.
Okay.